recording this meeting. Perfect. Well, thank you all for your time today. We've got Stacy League with Strategic Retirement Partners on the line with us. She is going to be doing a brief meeting in regards to our 401k transition from Alerus to Fidelity. Please save your questions till the end or place them in the chat. But I can tell you there's probably a lot of calls that have came in the last couple of days that we will be covering a lot of misinformation here shortly. But with that, Miss Stacy, go ahead. Everyone should be able to see the screen, and we are recording, so I can send this out to anyone who misses today's meeting. Thanks, Stacy.
Perfect. Thanks, Lydia. I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for joining today. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to listen in. Like Lydia said, my name is Stacy League. I'm with Strategic Retirement Partners. I know over the years, me and my team have probably talked to quite a few of you and addressed some of your questions, but we are the financial advisors on the Goodwin 401k plan. The purpose of the meeting today is really just to kind of go over what are changes to expect going forward regarding the Goodwin 401k plan. My hope today is to really address a lot of the questions that we've been getting on an individual basis, so you guys feel comfortable knowing what's happening with your 401k plan at Goodwin, and then moving forward, what is going to happen with that. So that's the goal of the meeting today. I'm going to walk through this in a few pages here, a few slides, and we'll talk about the upcoming changes. And then at the end, I will definitely address any questions that you guys may have, and I will stay on the line for a while afterwards as well to make sure we get everyone's questions answered. So first and foremost, what's going to be going on with the plan? The Goodwin 401k plan is going to be moving to Fidelity. Right now, the plan is at Alerus. Many of you have probably set up online account access to your 401k plan through Alerus. That's the name of the current provider. But the plan is going to be transitioning, or what we call converting, to Fidelity later this year, most likely towards the end of Q1 or beginning of Q2. So just to give you a few talking points here on what to expect and dates. So 12/31/2025, that's the first bullet point here. Existing employees of Goodwin Associa will no longer contribute to the Goodwin 401k plan. So because today is January 5th, and by the way, Happy New Year, everyone. Being January 5th, you will no longer be putting contributions into the Goodwin 401k plan with Alerus. Existing employees, so obviously if you're on this call today, you're still an existing employee, you are going to be contributing to the Associa 401k plan going forward. Okay, so no longer with Goodwin, now officially an employee of Associa, you're going to be contributing to the Associa 401k plan after January 1st and going forward. Now, the Goodwin 401k plan is going to merge into the Associa 401k plan. Like I mentioned, that's going to be happening on or around April. Okay, so the beginning of Q2, you will be receiving more correspondence going forward as we get closer to that actual transition date. So you'll get plenty of correspondence about that, so you'll know when that's actually going to happen. So on a high level, this is what's going on. You're no longer contributing to Goodwin 401k. You will start contributing to the Associa 401k plan, and then a little bit later on this year, that Goodwin 401k plan is going to merge into the Associa 401k plan, which is at Fidelity. So some important dates just to keep in mind as we transition through this. This week, basically January 1st and after, all employees are going to be eligible to participate in the Associa 401k plan. You are going to need to enroll into the Associa 401k plan to make new deferral elections and select your investments. We're not going to talk about that today. You guys are going to receive more information on the Associa 401k plan and the enrollment process coming up. You may have already received some information, but you will be getting information about that. You are still going to have access to your Goodwin 401k account all during this first quarter until that plan actually merges into the Associa plan. So just know if you want to look up your account balance, or if you want to make changes to your investments within the 401k plan, for Goodwin that's at Alerus, you can still do that. So you're not going to lose access to your account balance. But one thing I do want to point out is you cannot take new loans from the Goodwin 401k plan, right? So I know several participants have existing 401k loans that are outstanding. We're going to talk about those here in just a slide or two so you feel comfortable about that process. But effective January 1st and going forward, you cannot take out new loans against the balance that you have in the Goodwin 401k plan. Okay, so you'll have access to your account. You can make changes to your investments, but you cannot take out new loans. And we're going to talk a little bit about distributions and if you have access to take out distributions here on the next slide or two. So all of that is happening right now. Around late March, the plan is going to go into what we call a blackout period. So as the Goodwin 401k plan transitions to Fidelity and merges into the Associa 401k plan, that plan has to go through a brief quiet period. We call that a blackout period. You are going to receive correspondence and notices about that as well. You're going to receive a blackout notice that goes out 30 days prior to the plan going into blackout. And that's intention is just to give you, ample notice that this blackout period is coming up, when that blackout period is going to start. So probably around late February, you're going to receive that blackout notice. End of March, that plan will go, the Goodwin plan will go into that brief quiet period as it transitions over to Fidelity. And then, like I mentioned, we estimate around April 1st is when the Goodwin 401k plan and all of your balances within that plan will transition over to Fidelity and become a part of the Associa 401k plan. All right, so we've talked to quite a few participants over the past several months really about distributions. And I hope to really clear up today if you're able to take a distribution from the 401k plan. Now, technically, since the Goodwin 401k plan is merging into the Associa 401k plan, and you all are still active employees of Associa, you cannot take a distribution from the Goodwin 401k plan. The reason for that is because you're still considered an active employee. All 401k plans for active employees are limited really as far as when can you take a distribution as a participant. So you can only take a distribution from a 401k plan if you meet what we call a triggering event. Okay, a triggering event would be termination of employment from Associa. If you reach what the IRS considers retirement age, which is the age of 59 and a half, or if you retire. Okay, so those are the three triggering events. If you meet any one of those triggering events, then you can take a distribution from 401k plan. So for many of you, since you simply transitioned from being a Goodwin employee to being an Associa employee, you haven't really met any of those triggering events. And so you're unable to actually take a distribution from the Goodwin 401k plan for that reason. Now, like I mentioned earlier, your balances aren't just going to stay there. They are eventually going to merge over into the Associa 401k plan. And so that is going to be done for you automatically. You don't have to take action to move the money from the Goodwin 401k to the Associa 401k. Okay, so no action needed on your part. Your balances will automatically transition over around the beginning of Q2. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about loans because I know there are quite a few participants that do have outstanding loans against your 401k accounts within the Goodwin 401k plan. So for anybody that has an outstanding loan, I want you just to know that the loan repayments will continue. Okay, so right now, if you have a loan outstanding, you have loan repayments that are deducted from your paycheck and sent into your 401k plan. That will continue as usual. That will not change for you. Okay, so loan repayment amounts will not change at all during quarter one of 2026. And that payment amount is based off of that original amortization schedule that was generated when you took out the loan. So all of that will stay the same throughout quarter one. Now, once the 401k plan transitions over to Fidelity in quarter two, what's going to happen at that point is Fidelity will re-amortize your loans. And the reason for that is because your payroll frequency is changing. When you were being paid through Goodwin, your pay frequency was either semi-monthly, I believe, or monthly for some people. As you transition over to Associa and are paid through the Associa payroll, you are paid bi-weekly. And so your pay frequency is changing. That is why once your plan balance transitions over to Fidelity in quarter two, they'll re-amortize your loan to make sure that it matches with that appropriate or with that frequency. But until quarter two, everything will just continue as usual, as you currently have it set up. So just know if you have a loan, your loans will continue. This won't disrupt your loan at all, and you'll just continue to repay it as usual. Okay, so what's next? The biggest thing I want to make sure everyone understands today is that no action is needed by you, right? Your plan balance is automatically going to transition over to Fidelity for you, and it will happen at the end of Q1 going into quarter two. So you don't need to take any action to move the assets for move your assets over. You will need to enroll in the Associa plan. And like I mentioned, you're going to be getting information on how to enroll into the Associa plan very soon. But that is going to be needed on your end in order to get enrolled and to continue saving for your retirement. Now, if you have any questions regarding the Goodwin 401k plan currently at Alerus, we are here for you. So me and my team are still available to address any questions you might have. If you still have questions about, how your account's invested or what's going to happen, or just, you have other financial questions, we're still your advisors and we're still here to help you with that. So please feel free to reach out to us if you do have any of those questions. Up here at the top is our contact information. You're more than welcome to call or send an email to that support@SRP Retire email address. We check that constantly, by the way. So if you do have questions or need help with anything specific to your account at Alerus, we're here to help you. Please don't hesitate to reach out. If you need to make investment changes or make changes to your beneficiaries or anything like that, you do still have access to your account at Alerus. And so the Alerus contact information is on this page as well. You're still going to be able to log in and make any of those changes that you need. Now, like I said at the very beginning of the presentation today, no new contributions or no new deferrals are going to be going into the Goodwin 401k plan anymore. So you're not going to be logging into the Alerus website to make changes to your deferrals or contributions. Remember, you're enrolling in the Associa plan to do that. The Alerus website is still available for you to view your accounts or to make investment changes on your existing balances if you need, or if you need to update your beneficiaries. Those are the things that you can still do through the Alerus website. So with that, I'm going to pause and see if we have any questions. I think, Lydia, there are some questions that came in through chat. So we can certainly take a look at those. And then feel free. I don't know how you want to do this, Lydia. Do you just want them to unmute themselves if they have questions specific?
Yes, please. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself.
Is there any kind of match going on with the 401k?
Jonathan, hi. There's information in the benefits guide in regards to the new plan and what the match will be. So yes, there is some. It's in the 2026 benefit guide.
Okay. Do you happen to know what the match amount
I
is
do
off the top
not.
of your head?
I do not.
Okay.
I would just like to know how to opt out.
So for the 2026 plan, there is no opting out. There is no auto enrollment in the Associa plan. So if you do not want to participate in the 401k plan for 2026, there is no opting out. You're not automatically enrolled. So there's nothing you need to do for that, Sean.
Okay, wonderful.
You're
So,
welcome.
so if we don't want to have our Alerus account transferred over to the Associa one, how do we just get our money? Because I'm 62. I don't want to put any more into this. I already have my investments set up. So I'd like to take because we didn't really, by the time I was signed up for it, I didn't even know it was already done.
Okay, I'll take that one. So I think that Sandy, that was you talking.
Yes.
Since you are over the age of 59 and a half, you do actually meet one of those triggering events that I was talking about earlier. So if you wanted to take a distribution, that is something I can help you with. So
Okay.
if you want to reach out to me after the call today, I can certainly guide you through that process. But your situation's a little bit unusual because you do meet one of those triggering events. For most
Yeah,
people,
I'm the old girl.
for most people, they're not able to do that, but I can certainly help you with that.
How do I reach out to you?
If you want to just send an email to that support at SRP Retire, just if
Okay.
you send an email and just state in there that you were talking to me and I can help you with that.
Okay.
So question, if we're not in Sandy's position, then how do we, and we don't opt into the Fidelity, how do we get our distribution? Or is that not an option for us?
Yeah, so if you don't have one of those triggering events, I'm going to go back to that page really quick just to remind everybody. If you don't meet one of these three triggering events right here, then you have to leave your money in the plan and it will automatically transfer over to Fidelity. It doesn't mean you have to participate, right, in the Associa plan, meaning if you don't want to, you don't have to defer money into the Associa plan, but your account balance will transfer over into the Associa plan. So you're not able to actually take a distribution out of the plan.
And so if we never sign into the Fidelity program, that money just sits there until we're terminated, retire, or 59?
Yes. It'll stay invested. What'll happen is if you never sign up on the, Fidelity website, when your balance transfers over, it will go into what we call a default investment. So it will be invested and it will continue to grow for you. So it's not just going to be dormant, but you just won't be able to take it out or access it unless you meet, terminate employment, reach retirement, or age 59 and a half.
Okay, I have a question. If you're in the triggering situations, um, are the penalties substantial or are there any penalties?
That's a really good question. So if you reach age 59 and a half and you take money out of the account, there are no penalties anymore, right? The IRS only assesses a penalty if you take what we call an early distribution, or if you take a distribution before you turn age 59 and a half. If you terminate from employment and you decide to take your money out of the plan, and let's say you're 40 years old, or you're just any age less than 59 and a half, that's when you would be subject to that early withdrawal penalty, and that is 10%. And the IRS assesses that penalty.
Okay, then. All right. You answered my question. I'm way past that age.
Okay. But yeah, no penalties if you're
Okay.
59.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, I have a question. It's the same thing. I'm 62 this year.
Okay.
I just need to know if you can send out an email or something to go through that process.
For if you're wanting to take a distribution.
Yeah. I probably won't renew or let it switch over to Fidelity. I'm just probably gonna stop it right now and take whatever distribution I have.
Yeah.
But will you just
Yeah.
send us a link so I'm in my
Yeah, that
truck
would
right
help.
now. So, okay, yeah.
That would help. That would help. Yeah.
Yeah, what I'll do, and Lydia, if this is okay with you, I can put together like a template of instructions for those of you that do meet that age 59 and a half requirement. If you're wanting to take a distribution, I'll put together kind of like step-by-step instructions for how you would go about doing that.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Stacy, yes, that's fine. You can send that to me, or we can
Okay.
get that together.
Yeah, I'll send it to you first, Lydia, and then you can forward it out to the group if that's okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
And so I just want to make sure we're clear. If I'm not triggering, I can't roll this over to another account outside of Fidelity, correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure I'm clear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Carmen, did you have a question? All right, I thought Carmen had a question. Does anybody else have any question? I put the
Yes, I
benefit guide.
typed it up in the chat.
Okay, well, go ahead and just say what it is here, Carmen. Sorry. Everybody, I put the benefit guide in the chat, so you should be able to see the benefit guide there. Excuse me, there is information. I didn't pull it up, but there is information on the 401k in the benefits guide. There is a blurb in there in regards to the 401k contribution or the 401k match from Associa. That is the information that we have. There is, I believe Tammy said it's up to, let me find the email before I say something incorrect and it's recorded. But there is some information that Tammy's gotten, additional information in regards to what the match is. But per the benefit guide, it is at the discretion of the company, so they can change it at any time. So do not go by what we're being told as the final if it doesn't match what you're expecting at the end of the year. Carmen, go ahead.
Well, that was my question. What I read in the benefits guide is unclear to me. It doesn't give a percentage or an amount or nothing as to what I can expect.
Okay, that is what we have. Trying to find, so on the benefits guide, Fidelity information is on page 25 for those of you that are looking for it. That page has the information on how to enroll. If you call Fidelity, because we've had a couple of people say they've contacted Fidelity and Fidelity did not have their information. If that's you, send me an email, send your HR rep an email, but make sure you try to contact them first before reaching out directly to us.
So it makes it kind of challenging to make a decision about signing up if we don't have any idea as to a match. Right?
That is true. Give me 1 second. Continue on. Sorry, let me keep going through my emails, Carmen. I'm going to drop in the chat the information that
So
we
Lydia,
have. There are several.
Lydia, this is Tammy. I'm going to
Thank
just
you.
jump in there and I'm going to say, while we're trying to figure out the percent match for sure, just keep in mind that whatever it is better than what we have now, because right now we don't have a match at all. So regardless of what it is, it's going to be a match. However small, it's more than what we have now. So we will get the amount out once we've confirmed it. There's also a vesting schedule that if you call Fidelity, you're going to want to ask. You will have your seniority will transfer over for the plan. So you will get your seniority in full for the vesting schedule.
Thank you, Tammy.
I don't know when I'll have that information. I've posed that question a while ago. I believe, and it depends. I know what I was told, but then the reason we haven't, because what I was originally told, I think was something said in error because something else has been said. So what I'm trying to do before I share it is confirm which is correct.
And Tammy, once you've got that, am I misunderstanding to think that we've got a week or two to make that decision on what we want
Yes.
to do? Okay.
Yes, you've got through January 15th, but I'm trying to get that decision. I think the holidays didn't help with that. So I'm getting much faster answers now. So I'm trying to get that. I'll get that out to everybody. January 15th again is the deadline.
Gotcha.
And we'll get you that amount of the match out to everybody so you know. But just know, regardless, it's a good option for you because it's something over nothing. So just kind of keep that in mind for the time being. And then, like I said, I'll get that out as soon as we can. For those of you who are not in the plan or they're saying they can't find you, reach out to that associate benefits at associateonline.com. There's really not anything when they refer to the HR, it's really the associate benefits department. There's nothing we can really do other than just forward your question on. So just make sure that you reach out to that. I sent it in an email earlier today. And so if you have questions, you can reach out to them and ask them as well.
If I have a question, if you think or you possibly know you have an existing account with Fidelity from previous employments, how do we make sure that whenever this gets transferred over, it is added to that account?
You'll have to proactively request a rollover from your old plan. So if you do have an old 401k plan that is with Fidelity, you'll still have to request specifically that you want to roll that old account into the Associa plan, and you'll do that typically by logging in. So if you log into your account, Fidelity's pretty easy to work with as far as requesting those rollovers online.
Thank you.
And I noticed there was a question in the chat similar to that. Someone was wanting to transfer their 401k from a previous employer and what that process would look like. So in general, what I can tell you is anytime you're wanting to transfer or roll an old 401k plan, you start with the old plan. So typically you'll reach out, whether it's going online or calling your old 401k plan provider, whoever that is, and requesting the transfer there first, right? So you'll have to request that transfer from your old 401k plan. You'll be able to get instructions from Fidelity on how to make, how your old employer will need to make that check payable. So I would encourage you, I know you're all going to get information about Fidelity, but when you do, I would encourage you guys to all at least set up, your accounts on Fidelity so that you can get information on the rollover process. But Fidelity will have all of that information on their website for you.
There's a couple of questions in the chat, guys. I just want to remind y'all to look at the benefit guide, page 25. It's got information. It's got a QR code and then netbenefits.com. Tammy also sent out an email. That's how you will sign up for the Fidelity plan. Deadline is January 15th to enroll. Derek, you've got your hand raised. Derek, do you have a question? Carrie, sorry.
Yeah, just real quick. We have to enroll in order for contributions to be made, correct? Like we're not going to continue making the same % contributions we are now.
That is correct.
That's correct. You do have to sign up.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Carrie, go ahead. Sorry.
It's fine. So just to confirm, when it comes to the contributions for the first quarter, is that going into the whatever the last one was called? And then just transferring over, or is it starting? Yeah, I don't. Or is it going into the new one?
It's going to go into the new one.
The new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Automatically for Q1.
Yeah, automatically for Q1.
Not automatically.
If you
You're
sign
going to
up.
have to enroll.
Like if we set up the new account,
Mhm.
it'll.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I'm like I don't want to lose like 4 months.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I'm not
nothing
even
will
doing it,
go
but,
to the Alerus account. Alerus is completely closed down, so nothing past your December 31st check will go into the Alerus accounts.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I just saw your question in the chat, Carrie. So yeah, you can still contribute during quarter 1. Absolutely. You just need to make sure you do that through the Associa plan. So you'll have to enroll on the Associa site.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Carrie.
So to be clear, on the, if I am, or if I meet one of the triggering things that you talked about, to when this changes over, will I be 100% vested because I have both 4 years of service and I'm over 59 and a half?
Yeah, all of your service with Goodwin, you keep that. So when you transition over to Associa, like all of your service for vesting and everything else will count. So you're not having to start over with Associa. So if you've already been with Goodwin for 4 years or 6 years, all of that vesting time goes with you.
Okay, so when it says, 4 years of service, 100% vested in the company, and these other references say 25% vested in company match, does that mean that Associa will then be matching me at 100%?
That
No.
means any match that goes into your account for you will be vested at 100%. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great question, Melissa. Kevin Reynolds, you got a question?
Yeah, I'm confused what the blackout period is. If our contributions are continuing now, what is the blackout period actually for? I don't understand what that is at all.
Yeah, good question. I'll clarify that a little bit for you. So the blackout period is only going to be regarding your Goodwin account that is at Alerus. And blackout simply means it's a quiet period. So you would not be able to log into your account with Alerus during that blackout period. You'll still have access to your account at Fidelity if you set it up, right? So if you enroll now and you start contributing to the Associa plan, that will continue as usual. The blackout's only specific to Alerus, right? And it just means that you won't be able to log in and see your account balance or make changes to your investments within the Alerus account during that blackout period.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, perfect. I noticed there was quite a few questions in the chat just about, contributing during quarter 1. How do we do that? Are you eligible right away? And I know we've mentioned it a few times, but I don't think it hurts to say it again. As of today, or basically as of January 1st, you are eligible to enroll into the Associa plan at Fidelity. So if you want to still contribute and be saving for your retirement, you can absolutely do that now. You just have to do it through the Associa plan by enrolling on the Fidelity website. But as soon as you do that, then your contributions will continue during quarter 1. It'll just go into the Associa plan, which is at Fidelity. So you won't miss out on the opportunity to save. You guys have great questions. Is there anything else?
On the 1, 2, 3 year, 4 year, whatever, does that start as new employees now because you're starting with associate, or does that go back as far as we've been with Goodwin?
Yeah, it goes back according to your employment tenure with Goodwin. So all of your service and employment your years of employment with Goodwin will go with you as you transition to Associa. So you don't have to start over this year with Associa for vesting purposes. You'll be able to use all of that employment tenure that you've had with Goodwin. That goes with you.
Matching contributions too, like on that one before, same thing. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you tell me what happens if we separate from employment and we have a loan on our account?
Good question. If you separate from employment and you have an outstanding loan balance, you have basically two options. If you have the ability to pay your loan off, you can pay it in full, no problem. You can do that at any point. If you can't, then what's going to happen is that loan essentially becomes a taxable distribution to you. So whatever your outstanding or remaining loan balance amount is, if you separate from service, then that essentially becomes taxable distribution. You're going to get what's called a 1099-R at the end of the year that shows that outstanding loan balance was paid out to you, and it just means you pay taxes on that. And then if you are under the age of 59 and a half, which is the retirement age, the IRS would also assess that 10% penalty on any outstanding loan balance.
Hi, Stacy. Is there a minimum required amount that you must contribute, say like 3%, to receive the match?
Well, they're still trying to figure out how the discretionary match works. Lydia and Tammy both mentioned that there is a discretionary match at Associate. They just don't know the formula or what the amount is on the match yet. So unfortunately, I can't answer that question because I'm not really sure how much the associate match is yet. But I'm certain that Tammy and Lydia, if they get that information, will pass that along to you guys.
One more quick question. Is there a specific name of this type of 401k versus what Sean mentioned as the Roth 401k? Does this one have a name?
And that's a good question. So it's a basic 401k plan that you're going to have access to. It's very similar. The Goodwin 401k plan, very similar to the Associate 401k plan. When I say that, I mean that you have the ability to do both a traditional contribution or pre-tax contribution or a Roth after-tax contribution. So in the Goodwin plan, you could have done either, right? You could do a pre-tax deferral or you can do a Roth deferral. With the Associate plan, I know that you have the ability to do either option as well. So it's just a 401k plan in general, but you have the ability to make contributions on either a traditional pre-tax basis or a Roth after-tax basis.
Okay. I think I got that. Thank you.
You're welcome. And there was one other question in the chat specifically about rolling your 401k balance into a Roth IRA. And I just wanted to circle back that with the Goodwin 401k plan, if you're still active as an associate employee, remember you can't move your balance out of the 401k plan to an outside account like an IRA unless you've met, one of those triggering events, which is termination of employment, age 59 and a half, or retirement. So you can't move your balance out of the Goodwin 401k plan into a Roth IRA, which is an individual retirement account. So I just wanted to make sure we're clear on that. But if you do have additional questions about that, or if it's specific to your situation, and you want to talk through it, that's what me and my team are here for. So you're welcome to reach out to us directly on your individual situation if you want to talk through that.
Hi,
Hey, Stacy.
Stacy.
Yes. Stacy, sorry, if you'll take a look at your chat real quick. Guys, I just want to remind y'all that the purpose of today's call is to talk about the transition from Alerus to Fidelity to the Associate plan, not to try to get too much into the specifics on the Fidelity plan because Stacy is not the point of contact for the Fidelity plan or for the Associate plan. She is our point of contact for the current Alerus plan that is ended and is here to answer questions about that transition. So just be aware that this call was specifically to try to talk about the transition, not to answer information about the new plan. Rick, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think that's okay. I was with a plan before that you had to contribute a minimum of 3% to qualify to receive the match. And that was my question, but I'll defer that over to Fidelity.
Fidelity, yeah, that's going to be
Yeah,
more of
thanks,
a
Stacy.
Associa or a Fidelity to make sure we're giving out the correct information on that.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Stacy, did you see the chat?
I'm making sure I'm looking at everything. There's a lot of questions here.
There should be a personal one, that's not the group.
Oh, got you. Okay.
I just wanted to know if there was any further information that was going to be provided by you, Stacy, or if this is now just Q&A.
No, it's just Q&A at this point. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, will there be another meeting so we can talk about match or Fidelity or anything like that? Or when do we
Nope,
guys?
nothing about the new benefit information or the new 401k information, Emily. That's all going to be questions that we pose with Associa Benefits or directly with Fidelity. When we first rolled out the information, we were told there was going to be a meeting, but then we found out that there was not actually going to be a meeting. They told us just to refer to the information on the benefit guide. So I'm not sure if it just got off the radar as far as the schedule. But there is not going to be a 401k meeting after all with Fidelity or with Associa. So sorry about that.
That's fine. I just feel like y'all are taking the heat for a lot of this, and it sounds like so it's just the issue, not HR department with lack of
No,
business.
we are still just learning, still trying to figure it out, trying to get the correct information. And as Tammy mentioned earlier, as soon as we have that, we will send it out.
Okay, so we
Have
should
an answer, by the way, for everybody on the call. I just got an answer. So the match is 25% of the first 4%. So in other words, if you do a 4% deferral, that would be that would be your 1%, right? So it's 25% of the first 4%, which ultimately ends up being 1% if you defer 4% of your contribution.
Tammy, do you happen to know if it makes a difference if it's pre-tax or post-tax, or either one, there will be a match regardless?
That's correct.
Yes. Yeah, there'll be a match regardless.
Okay, thank you.
that start January or that starts later?
I'm sorry.
Say that again, Emily. Sorry.
Does that start January or is this a few months down the line with the matching?
It'll start as soon as you're enrolled in the plan.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, provided you've met, and then remember the vesting schedule. So the vesting schedule has to do with how much, if you were to leave, how much of your money is vested.
How much of the company match is vested? All right, are there any other questions online? Did everybody's questions in the chat get answered?
I think so.
Hey, I've got one real quick. So Timmy, the 4% is 4% of the maximum allowable contribution or 4% of your paycheck?
Well, it would be up to whatever. So when you designate your contribution in percentages, there's no dollar amounts on this plan, it's percentages. So for your first, like you could say 10% of your pay, but they're only going to match up to the first 4%. So if you only do 1%, you're going to get 25 cents on every dollar. Whereas if you defer up to 4%, you get the full 1% of the match.
Period.
Yeah, and it's based on your gross compensation on your paycheck.
All right, Stacy, I appreciate your time. Everybody, we appreciate your time. Again, refer to the employee benefits guide. You can contact Fidelity directly, the Associate Benefits hotline. for any additional questions. This meeting is being recorded, so I will have the link and we will send it out to everyone. Again, Stacy, I appreciate your time and for fielding all those questions. You're the it person. Thank you.
Awesome. And just a reminder, if you have questions about your Alerus account, feel free to reach out to me and my team. We can certainly help you. And I'll put together those step-by-step instructions, Lydia, and get those over to you on the withdrawal.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
What did they?